I will be talking about all of these games in this video. Be warned for spoilers. I think we've all been put down or diminished or shunned for our love of video games. People say that they're childish or stupid or will rot your brains out, but I'm tired of this notion. I'm tired of people disregarding my hobby because of their own ignorance, because of their own unawareness. Games are art. I'm Ouroboros. Let's talk. I know I sounded hostile in that opening, but it's the truth. Most of this comes down to non-gamers' preconceived notions towards games. I think that they literally just do not know what games can be, and that's not their fault. They haven't been exposed to what games can do for us. They don't know that there's more to this medium than Pac-Man or Fortnite. There's beauty in the environments, there's beauty in the stories, there's beauty in the mechanics, there's beauty in the music, there's beauty in all aspects. And for whatever reason, other people don't seem to understand this. They don't understand that this is a legitimate form of art that has transcended its humble arcade origins. There are literally too many examples for me to pull from, so I'm just going to stick to a few. Let's briefly touch on the story of Xenoblade and Metal Gear, the world of Zelda, the gameplay of Monster Hunter, the characters of Persona, and last but certainly not least, the innovation of Nier Automata. This is your last chance before I potentially spoil some things from these games. A lot of art is given such high praise for the story it tells. Books and films are the most notable examples. But guess what? Games are just as competent in that field too. How about any of the Xenoblade games? Xenoblade 1 is a revenge story that slowly unravels in a plot to kill all humans. And that plot slowly makes way for a conspiracy to resurrect the god who created the universe. Xenoblade 2 is about one group's journey to meet the god of their world, only to find that he is a decrepit old man. Their will to live and resolve to fight is constantly being tested along the way. Xenoblade 3 is all about life and death. The main characters struggle with their own impending mortality and what it means to live. Is the extra pain and suffering worth it, when they could just exist in an unjust system that will end up killing them anyway? Or even Metal Gear Solid 3, a story about one man's journey to stop his now traitorous mentor from unleashing nuclear Armageddon during the Cold War. A story about patriotism, loyalty to the end, and military and political compliance. If that last one isn't a plot ripped straight out of a Tom Clancy novel, then I don't know how else to convince you that games are so much more now than they've ever been. Intertwined with that story is, of course, the worlds in which these games take place. You can't have one without the other. They are one and the same. I could continue with the examples provided, but I'll switch gears to further emphasize my point. One of my favorite game worlds is that of Zelda. Well, we've got a lot to choose from, but Breath of the Wild is incredible. At first, it may seem open, empty, almost deserted, but that's entirely the point. It's a post-apocalyptic game. It's not meant to be a heroic romp through a fantasy kingdom. It's supposed to be melancholic, an almost longingly nostalgic journey through your now deserted home. And that open-endedness is the key to get you to open up and explore. You're almost always rewarded by asking questions, going out of your way, and investigating little unremarkable tidbits. It doesn't give you big, glowing exclamation points to tell you where to go. It expects more of you. It expects you to be smarter, more mature, and patient. It doesn't interact with you. You interact with it. But when games do interact with you, there's still joy and marvel to be had. I've talked about this topic ad nauseum on my channel, but Monster Hunter's gameplay is second to none. Both the weapon and monster mechanics mesh together so beautifully. They flow together like a deadly dance, both you and the monster trying to outlast each other. A symphony of choreographed attacks until, just like primal humans before us, we outlast it, or it overpowers us. There's so many rules and mechanics in play that its complexity rivals that of various sports. It's fantastically engaging even during a longer 30 to 40 minute hunt. But the crazy thing is that games don't need to be adrenaline pumping to be engaging. The social link and confidant system in the Persona series is such a unique example of how games' natural interactivity can make you more immersed and invested in a world. You get to know various people throughout the game, from close friends to random classmates to adults out and about the world. You intimately learn about their backstories, motivations, personal problems, and insecurities, and help guide them through their journey through life. That's the big part about games. You are the driving force in every story. You make a difference in the lives around you. You can't do that anywhere else. You don't have the power or initiative to do that. But here, in games, you can do just about anything you set your mind to. And the very last game I want to touch on is Nier Automata. On the surface, it looks nothing more than a big, flashy action game with scantily clad women. And yeah, there's definitely a lot of that here. But beneath that surface, beneath the facade of fan service, lies a psychological masterpiece of complex narratives and characters. Not only that, but it innovates gaming in ways that I have never seen before. It's not perfect, and I think there are glaring issues which should have been addressed during development. But that vision, that passion, that ingenuity to push the boundaries of the medium is shared by every other art form. Automata isn't remembered because it executes everything flawlessly. Far from it. It's remembered for how it dared to toy with our expectations and bring us all a brand new experience that we haven't seen before. This is literally just scratching the surface of what video games are capable of. I literally have dozens of videos and hours of content on my channel dedicated to me gushing about how amazing I think games are. I'm really tired of the bad connotation video games get. I understand why it's there, but it's completely undeserved. It's so much so that I've always felt uncomfortable talking about this hobby with others. When an entire hobby is shunned because of sheer, basic misconceptions, that isolates other people from experiencing it. There are hundreds of other examples people could pull, but I think you understand where I stand on this matter. This is a dead horse video to make on YouTube, but it needs to be repeated over and over until it's accepted. Video games are art, and they are only becoming more artistic every single day. Thanks for watching.